Tonight, the Grosse Ile Parkway Bridge is facing new weight restrictions after an inspection found deterioration in some steel plates. This comes as Grosse Ile neighbors say that they're fed up with the lack of information from Wayne County about the future of the aging lifeline. Now, this is a story that 7 investigator Heather Catallo has been following for 6 years, exposing problems with the bridge. Tonight, she's taking the residents' questions straight to county leaders and demanding answers.
The new weight limits have Grosse Ile residents worried that more restrictions and closures are in their future. And if they have to limit larger trucks from crossing the bridge, that could mean essentials like groceries and gas cannot easily get onto the island.
This is Grosse Ile, Pier 1, and we're recording.
The 92-year-old Wayne County Parkway Bridge requires constant monitoring.
It's an accident waiting to happen.
Holly Swartz says after 15 years on Grosse Ile, for the first time, she's considering leaving the waterfront home she loves. The reason? Uncertainty about the bridge that links the island to the mainland.
This is something that we pay for like everyone else. It's your tax dollars. It is a road that leads to our homes, and it's Wayne County's responsibility.
Swartz and the rest of the 10,000 people on Grosse Ile have endured years of bridge problems. 75% of the island uses the Parkway Bridge, which typically carries more than 16,000 vehicles each day. The only other way off the island is a toll bridge at the north end. Swartz says the last closure of the free bridge in 2021 cost her family $500 a month in tolls.
If anyone could imagine, every time you left your home, you had to pay $5, and you didn't have a choice, or you literally could not get home. That was what we faced when the bridge was closed.
The condition of the bridge continues to be a hot topic downriver. The 7 investigators were the first to show you how Wayne County failed to conduct required underwater inspections of the Parkway Bridge for 10 years, between 2007 and 2017. I also showed you how the former county bridge inspector, who was once in charge of the safety checks on this bridge, admitted he had copied and pasted bridge inspection reports across the county and was later fired for falsifying records. And islanders fear more bridge shutdowns are in their future. In 2019, deterioration on the bridge's floor beams prompted an emergency closure. Then, in May of 2020, planned construction began above the water until contractors had to be rushed off the bridge for emergency underwater repairs to the bridge's even-numbered piers. Both projects cost more than $16.4 million. It was clear during that project that the odd-numbered piers needed work as well. But officials in County Executive Warren Evans' administration say the design plan for those piers still is not complete.
There is no way that I'm going to believe that after 2 years, you don't have a plan.
The 7 investigators obtained this video of the most recent underwater inspection. You can see there are several cracks in the piers. And according to this inspection report, the piers exhibit extensive deterioration both above and below the waterline. The diver also found numerous voids in the footings of the piers. Another major concern? The protection system around Pier Number 9. It's overgrown and appears to be sinking into the river at points. Residents have long railed against what they say is a lack of transparency from Wayne County. Back in 2022, Wayne County Department of Public Works Director Andrew Condrivas said he was trying to address that.
Would you be open to having some kind of forum with them where they can get their questions directly answered?
There's not a reason that we shouldn't be able to respond and get people the information that they need.
But now it's 2 years later, and residents like Margaret Shelton say they are tired of waiting.
Let's be clear. All they have to do is come for this engagement discussion with residents.
So Shelton started emailing Condrivas and other state and county officials demanding that long-promised meeting and an update on the bridge.
When you sent that email in April, who responded to you?
Well, the only person that responded to me immediately was you, Heather. So beyond that, there was no other response.
Shelton says the bridge is just one of the reasons she decided to run for township trustee. And another current trustee started this petition demanding that meeting with the county. Shelton says she never got a response to her repeated emails, but on June 20th, the county did finally post this update on their website with what they call frequently asked questions.
They are very tired of Wayne County creating frequently asked questions. They want to ask their own questions. So what can be done to help them get their own questions answered and to facilitate a dialogue with your taxpayers?
I don't know how anybody would be less frustrated with me or any other elected official, or any other government or agency that said to them, I don't know what those designs are going to look like. I can't tell you right now. We're not holding on to information that we haven't shared. It is unknown at this time what the timeline would be.
Kandrivas says the county did complete an extensive scoping report, and they've added several of those recommended repairs to the plan.
Generally, the design is close to being completed, I'm told. There have been some other things. We've actually gone in and changed a little bit of the scope of the design. Since we're working on underwater piers, it would make sense to then replace that underwater cable that would be needed, and this would be a great time to put in a generator.
2 days after that interview, last Friday evening, Wayne County's Department of Public Services issued an after-hours press release announcing new weight restrictions for large trucks on the bridge. Even though the new restrictions stemmed from an inspection in April, there was no mention of the coming changes during our interview, prompting more calls for transparency from the residents.
We should be collaborating.
The DPS director says the state has already earmarked $20 million for the planned pier construction and electrical upgrades. He estimates the improvements will give the bridge at least another 15 years of life, but there is still the looming question of how and when do they replace this bridge and what will that cost? I'm Heather Catallo, 7 News Detroit.
Heather, thank you very much.